Good evening to one and all. This is Sharma, shortly known as Kumpel Sharma, organizing one voluntary organization called Telugu Radham, keeping in view the flavor and glamour of Indian languages, particularly the linguistic based languages, Telugu, based on which the Indian states were formed in 1950s. Since 2008, I was an ex-officer from Reserve Bank of India and an award. Retired in 2008. Afterwards, a thought occurred to, in some fashion or the other, I have to serve the society and give whatever little I have received during part of my life voluntarily without any expectation. Keeping that in view, India is a gallery of multiple talents and personalities representing various sectors. Uh, to name a few, spiritual leaders, social reformers and cooperators, patriots and freedom fighters, administrators and intellectuals, mainly the awards given by Indian government annually, Bharat Ratnas and other allied categories like Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan, Padma Shri, etc. And also the world known Nobel laureates in which many eminent Indians got that award, and also historical figures. To name a few, under these categories, we are introducing all these luminaries, great personalities. In Telugu, we call Chirasmaranilu, can be remembered, shall be remembered in everybody's life. So today, we are happy to introduce two great personalities. Incidentally, both are Bharat Ratna awardees. I try to put in my limited way their love sketches. The two gentlemen are Maharshi Dhando Kesav Karve, and the other is Panduranga Vaman Kane, known as PV Kane. So I try to present life sketches of both the personalities. Now I will take Maharshi Dhondo Kesav Karve. Kesav Karve is the proud son of Mother India who had imbibed Indian culture to the core of his being and worked relentlessly for widow remarriages and women's literacy during his life. The country responded to this great man's ideals and awarded him Bharat Ratna, and the people respected him as Maharshi. Dhondo Kesav Karve was born on 18th April 1958 in a village called Sriyoli in Ratnagiri district of Maharashtra. Lakshmi Bhai and Kesav Pant were his parents. Karve ancestors were very wealthy people, but during his boyhood, the family faced financial problems. Karve told his mother that the Maharaja of Baroda was giving 10 rupees as a donation to poor people and that he was prepared to seek alms from the Maharaja. But the mother kindled self respect in him, saying kings had sought loans from his ancestors and asked him how he could seek help from such persons. Karve had a great interest in studies right from his young age and was very God fearing. He could read with clear pronunciation many Sanskrit slokas. In those days, a pass in the fourth class was the qualification for getting a job. But unfortunately, Karve failed in the fourth class when he took the exam. His teacher, Vinayak Lakshman Soman, encouraged Karve to take the exam again. His advice and his noble lifestyle influenced Karve a great deal. The revolutionary changes which social reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Rai, Dadabhai Nauroji, Kandukuri Veerasalingam, and Ranade had brought about by then had their impact on Karve. Karve's marriage with Radhabai took place in his 15th year. The family's economic condition was deteriorating fast. Unless he passed the sixth class, he would not get a teacher's post. But Karve walked 150 miles through forest tracks in the rains to write the exam. But he was not permitted to take the exam as he was short of age by 1 year. Karve did not get discouraged but took the exam next year. Later, he went to Bombay to learn English and took his degree from the university. Though he was poverty stricken and struggling against odds, he took up the responsibility of 4 more persons of his village and educated them. One of the 4 made a mark at the national level. Gopal Krishna Gokhale, another contemporary famous personality, recognized the merit of Karve and appointed him as a professor of mathematics in the Ferguson College, which he was running, I think, in Pune. In the meanwhile, Karve's wife Radhabai died because of ill health. Karve boldly told his mother and her conservative family members that he was going to marry a child widow. He argued, saying, a man remarries when his wife dies. Why should not a woman remarry when her husband dies? So he married Gundubai, a child widow, the daughter of Murhara Pant. He changed her name to Anandabai and worked to uphold the women's cause. Anandabai was an ideal wife and supported Karve in his life's mission. Karve believed that service to man was a service to God and spent a part of his salary towards social welfare programs. Karve encouraged the villagers to spare 5 rupees only as their share to build up capital for the establishment of a cooperative stores. When Karve went visiting other places, the store faced problems because of poor accounting. Karve closed the store and paid the villagers their share from his salary, a charity approach. He set an example that the owners of the cooperative societies should accept the responsibility when such societies face losses. He later established many educational institutions to erase illiteracy and encourage women's literacy. He established an ashram, Balika Sadan, to help and support orphan girls and child widows. Many persons who opposed the ashram in the beginning came forward slowly, later in stages, to donate money for its upkeep. Mahatma Gandhi visited the ashram. Karve gained moral strength because of Gandhi's visit and worked hard for 3 years to improve the ashram. He was influenced by a pamphlet published from Japan and established a women's university in Pune. He went around the country and other countries and collected necessary funds. Great men and scientists like Einstein supported the ideas of Karve and encouraged him to go ahead with his plans. Karve, who loved natural beauty and nature's beauty, wanted to spread knowledge, which is our greatest wealth, to one and all. The government of India recognized the social service rendered by Karve and awarded him Padma Vibhushan, a very high standing award, and the national and international universities honored with many doctor degrees. The people of India called him Maharshi. The 90th birthday of Karve was celebrated with great eclat all over the country. At the facilitation meeting, Dr. Babu Rajendra Prasad, the first president of India, announced a donation of 1 lakh rupees to the institution run by Karve. In 1958, on the occasion of the birth centenary celebrations of Karve, the government of India released a special postage stamp in his honor. The credit of a postal stamp being released when the person was alive goes on to Karve. On that occasion, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru took part in the program and extended personally the country's highest honor, Bharat Ratna, to Karve. Karve passed away on 9th November 1962 in his 104th year, leaving behind him his institutions, which remain today, reminding us of his sense of social service, sense of history, and human glory. With this small introduction, I pray Maharshi Dhonde Kesav Karve with great tribute and great respect. I salute him with great honors. Today, we are presenting another presentation of another great personality, Panduranga Vaman Kane. He is popularly known as PV Kane. Let us see what his life has gone and influenced himself and influenced India. Panduranga Vaman Kane was a highly qualified intellectual of the highest order. He was a great teacher of Sanskrit and law. He gained reputation as a lawyer. He was a noted writer who wrote many articles of Indian culture and traditions. He had no faith in the caste system and married outside his caste. He supported widow remarriages through though he belonged to a conservative Brahmin family. For his scholarship and learning, he was known as Mahamahopadhyaya Pandurang Vaman Kane. One of my great literary friends was telling Mahamahopadhyaya award is honored with it should be on record that at least he should have extended by extending knowledge in a authoritative manner at least 2,000 students in his lifetime at the university status. So Mahamahopadhyaya is the basic requirement of that. The great Kane fulfilled that and Mahamahopadhyaya was rightly served. He was born in a family of Vedic traditions on 7th May 1880 in a village called Parshuram in Ratnagiri district of Maharashtra. His father and ancestors were Sanskrit Pandits. He was brought up in a traditional atmosphere in his young age. He passed his matriculation in 1897 from the NPS Missions School, Davoli, and left for Bombay, and got admitted in Wilson College for higher studies. In 1901, he received his BA degree and also won the Baudhaji Award in Sanskrit. In 1902, he passed the first year LLB law examination, and in 1903, he took MA degrees in English and Sanskrit literatures and was given the Jalavedanta Prize. He started his career as a teacher in 1904 in the government high school in Ratnagiri of Maharashtra. Later, he was transferred to the Elphinstone High School, Bombay, very famous educational institution even today. He received his law degree in the same year. In 1906, his book on the history of figurative writing was prescribed for the postgraduate classes as part of the syllabus. He created a sensation by writing an essay on Aryan manners and morals. In 1908, he resigned his post as a Sanskrit teacher and continued as a lawyer. Later, he worked as a professor of law in the government law college. In 1911, he resigned his job. In 1911, he resigned his job in protest against the irregularities perpetrated by unqualified persons in the government education department and continued as an advocate of the High Court. He wrote many books on Indian history and culture from 1941 onwards. In the same year, he was honored with the title Mahamahopachaya. About this, I just told, and an honorary doctorate by the Allahabad University in 1946. He was an honored member of the Bombay University for 9 years. He became the Vice Chancellor of Bombay University in 1947 and brought about many administrative reforms in the university. Later, he served the university as its chancellor too. As lawyer, Kane had many more victories to his credit. The advocates and judges of courts soon recognized him as a model of legal jurisprudence. While arguing a case, a judge remarked that the argument of Kane was irrelevant and meaningless. Immediately, Kane quoted the judgment passed in London in the Privy Council a little before and won his case. Kane had a feeling heart for young women whose husbands died. He criticized the beastly behavior of society towards widows and the heartless treatment of widows received at the hands of the society. The Mahars, scavengers, entreated the Brahmin Sabha to allow them to worship Ganesh on the sacred day of Ganesh Chaturthi, at least from a distance. Some persons agreed to do so as it was a very simple request, but the diehards rejected the appeal. Kane, who was the chairman of the Brahmin Sangh, allowed the Mahars to have the darshan of Ganesh. He explained that people had to change according to changing times. But some Brahmins were unhappy with Kane's decisions and filed a petition in the Bombay High Court. As the petition could not stand in the court, they had to withdraw it. Conway was a practical minded pundit. He used to think constructively. Constructively. He used to allot 5 days in the week for his legal practice in the court, and the two remaining days to his study of Sanskrit and literary activities. He wrote 5 volumes of Sanskrit literature and history as well as Indian cultural heritage. These works are even academically considered as excellent even in the academic universities all over India and in abroad too. He explained in these books issues like rebirth, yajnas, Puranas, pilgrimages, marriages, adoptions, years, Hindu traditions and practices, etc. Kane was a great critic in the field of literature. He wrote critical commentary on Kadambari of Bana and Uttarram Charitra of Bhavabhuti. He had connections with many literary bodies. In 1956, he won the Central Sahitya Academy Award. He was vice president of Royal Asiatic Society. He was a member of the governing body of Bombay's Southern Brahmin Sabha for 25 years and chairman of the same body for 10 years. He was also the president of Dapoli Educational Society as well as vice president of the Bombay Marathi Library Sammelan. He was a member of the executive body of the Dr. Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute for many years. This Bhandarkar Institute was also as popular as like other institutions in those years. He attended the All India Marathi Literary Sammelan and also attended literary seminars held in different parts of the country. He represented India in Paris in 1948, in Istanbul in 1951, and in Cambridge in 1954 at the International Language Conference as India's representative. In 1958, he was president at the Vizag Indian History Congress. Many Indian universities honored him with doctorate degrees. In 1955, Government of India awarded him Padma Shri and in 1963 Bharat Ratna titles with great pride and proud. On 18th April 1972, he breathed his last. With this small introduction, I bow my head towards these two great personalities, both incidentally hailed from Maharashtra, though their influence and spread extended not only to the breadth and length of the India and also in foreign countries. Even now, the influence goes on and should go on. I pay my respects and tributes to these two great personalities in the presentation of today under Suphala-Bharathi and under title Luminaries. We are conducting these presentations, and in April, whatever relevant personalities are concluded to be represented again, we are doing it. We come soon with another great personality and try to present his life sketch in our own way, simple way, under Supal Bharati Luminaries category. I take with salute and say goodbye. See you till again. I am Kompella Balasubramanya Sharma, known as kbs.sarma or Kompella Sharma. I am president my organization Telugu Radham and also the coordinator for this luminaries wing of Suphala Bharati. Thank you very much.